Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright guys, today I want to talk about a topic that I think not a lot of people actually talk about, and is who's actually going to be training Kawaki. Now, in my personal opinion, I think the immediate one would probably be Naruto, but the problem that Kawaki would probably run into with Naruto is the same problem that Sarada would run into with Naruto, is the fact that Naruto is the Hokage. Naruto is a very busy man. Naruto taking a lot of time out of his day to actually train some Genin wouldn't necessarily be the best allocation of his time. Probably it would for Kawaki, but you never know. He is the Hokage. Not only that, I did talk about Naruto potentially training Sarada. Now, I don't necessarily want to make this like a Sarada versus Kawaki thing, but let's be honest, Naruto would probably naturally devote a lot of his time to a character like Kawaki just because Kawaki is that strong. And I personally don't necessarily think it's fair for Sarada to try to have to share time between Naruto training Kawaki and also Naruto being the Hokage. Sarada deserves Naruto, if he is going to train anybody, 100% full time. That's just my personal opinion, especially if he's still going to be the Hokage at that given time. So I personally believe Kawaki would probably be better suited to try to find another teacher. Now, in my personal opinion, just for a time skip type of scenario, one of the first characters that I did have in mind was Sasuke. Right now, we already have in mind that Sasuke is probably going to eventually be teaching Boruto a couple of things. I mean, already, like, let's be honest, like, Sasuke had, like, I don't know, 2 days with Boruto, and Boruto made up his own version of the Chidori, for crying out loud. But I think eventually in the future, I think it's definitely possible for Sasuke to take both Boruto and Kawaki under the wing and have them train alongside each other during the time skip. That right there would be extremely advantageous, and not only Boruto and Kawaki, one, have their karma skills hopefully resonate off of each other and actually make them better and better. Not only that, but also be able to train with each other. One of the things that we do understand is that Boruto, when he is going full strength, isn't necessarily going to be able to train with a lot of other people. Kawaki the same way, because they are so strong. So hypothetically, I mean, let's be honest, if Kawaki is going full strength, he's not going to be able to train with Sarada, he's not going to be able to train with Mitsuki, he's not going to be able to train with damn near anybody else. The other person that he's going to be able to train with is going to be Boruto. Not only that, it's also the fact that Boruto also is going to be going through the learning process of the new karma seal. Boruto and Kawaki have a new stage of the karma seal that they've both only entered in once. I personally do believe over a time skip type of period, they can 100% practice, learn, and of course get all that information down pat and essentially master that stage of the karma seal. Some people call it V3, I call it stage 2 of the karma seal. I personally do believe if they actually do get this form mastered, they may actually surpass a character like Ishiki Otsutsuki earlier than we think, and the best way that they can actually do that is them training together with a master like Sasuke. Now, of course, there's some other teachers out there and some other trainers out there that could be very advantageous to Kawaki. Another one has to be Kakashi, in my personal opinion. I think that Kakashi has the personality to handle a character like Kawaki, and of course kind of demand that respect from Kawaki. Kawaki is not necessarily the nicest guy, but he definitely does respect authority, and I think that Kakashi could definitely bring him that. In regards to actually battle stuff, Kakashi knows over 1,000 jutsu. One of Kawaki's biggest weaknesses is the fact that he doesn't fight like a shinobi. The only two jutsus that he really uses is a fireball jutsu that isn't necessarily a fireball jutsu because he's not really an Uchiha member, but also a shadow clone. One of the characters that we know for a fact in Boruto that has the biggest bag is Kakashi. If there is anybody out there that could potentially expand Kawaki's bag, it would 100% be Kawaki. Kawaki has fire style. Kakashi is 100% known to be a very good teacher, essentially taught Naruto the Rasen Shuriken in a very short period of time. And of course, we do understand that Naruto had a huge hand in that because of his shadow clones, but also Kawaki has some shadow clones as well. Maybe he can even expand the shadow clones. I don't know. There's a bunch of things that I really like about Kakashi training character like Kawaki. And not only that, we also have to talk about the mental aspect. Kakashi right now plays a very, and I mean very, very big part of how the Shinobi Way is actually done right now. We see from the first episode and from the first chapter that Kawaki finds some problems with the Shinobi Way, and in fact in the future they even say, Boruto agrees to this, that the Shinobi Way is completely over. I personally believe it'll be a very good idea to potentially have the person who actually did build that Shinobi Way, or the new Shinobi Way, actually train Kawaki. It'll be that much more heartbreaking when Kawaki actually does essentially go against that Shinobi Way. I ain't gonna lie, it would be absolutely amazing writing. And not only that, the Boruto writers did actually say that they want to have Kakashi have a much bigger role in the Boruto series, and I think one of the best ways to actually do that is to actually have Kakashi train a character like Kawaki. Now, in regards to other characters out there that could possibly train a character like Kawaki, I mean, there are a bunch, but there aren't necessarily as much that actually do have the actual utility as Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi. But of course, you have other characters out there like, let's say, Orochimaru, other characters out there like, let's say, Kashin Koji, other other characters out there, like let's say even Tonetti if he gets unsealed. These right here are all very, very good teachers to work with Kawaki. And of course, we always have to bring this up when we mention Kawaki. Amato is probably going to be involved as well. Not only that, other members of the Kata organization, hypothetically, by the time skip, if we get them on our side, would also be involved in Kawaki and Boruto's training as well. The thing about Kawaki right now is that he has a dojutsu that no one really knows about. Not saying that he's keeping a secret from everybody, but no one really knows the abilities. No one really knows how to get good at using a dojutsu like that. No one even really knows the name of the dojutsu. So I personally do believe it's going to be a very difficult time finding someone to actually train him in regards to that dojutsu. But if there are anybody out there that could have any inkling about how this thing possibly works, I think it'd probably be either Amato or Orochimaru. Orochimaru has studied multiple dojutsus out there, and of course he probably doesn't know about this one, but of course the dojutsus probably all follow a similar thing, and a person like Orochimaru who studied multiple dojutsus at a time, I think that right there could definitely be very advantageous to a character like Kawaki. And of course it'll just be like the same thing, hypothetical, for Orochimaru as the trainer. It'd be like more parallels between Kawaki and Sasuke. We understand that Kawaki took a very big liking with Naruto, but a lot of people out there do believe Kawaki is a lot like Sasuke, and of course being like the yin to Boruto's yang, Sasuke was the yin to Naruto's yang, and of course there's always going to be that comparison. So Orochimaru essentially training Kawaki would just make them that much more alike, and of course have the overall influence of Sasuke in the Boruto series that much more heavy. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. I always thought this right here was like a very underrated topic that not a lot of people actually talk about, and I think it's a very good topic to, you know, discuss, try to figure out exactly who's going to be able to teach Kawaki what he needs to know in the future, and especially to try to sway him away from potentially going rogue in the future, which might even be inevitable. You never know. But it's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.